We've been working with the federal narcotic agents, and we have been kept informed on what was happening. Pretty well knew the setup, and it worked just like the man said it would.
Do you have reason to believe that this is part of a much bigger marijuana ring circulating here?
It's part of a bigger marijuana ring. Whether it's circling here or not, I don't know. We have information from others, and we hope to get a break on it like we did this one.
About how many other people would be involved?
There would be probably 10 or 12 people. There's more than that probably would be using, but the pushers are what we're really after.
Only the City Council has the authority to grant city transportation franchises. The Council has set a public hearing next Tuesday, at which time Mr. E.O. Cartwright, Chairman of the Dallas Public Transit Board, is expected to make a full report on the Transit Board's obligations under the city ordinances and the bond indentures securing the $7,400,000 of Dallas System revenue bonds. The Dallas Transit System in the past has undertaken to offer special bus service to Collins Radio and Texas Instruments, and these negotiations were, however, suspended in November '68 when other arrangements were made by the two companies.
A local Richardson paper described the community as being a virtual hotbed of teenage marijuana users. In one of a series of articles, they stated, at Richardson High, it's estimated that a shocking 90% of the student population has experimented with marijuana. At Pierce High, the figures ranged from 60 to 70%. The paper further stated, the word experiment was qualified by those interviewed to mean had even puffed on one marijuana cigarette. Take these figures, if they are correct, project them on a county-wide basis, and that figure would come between 250 and 300,000. To get an even closer look at the situation here in Richardson, I talked with Richardson High School principal Joe Cullum.
Our students became concerned, and our student council conducted a random sampling. They had 17 and about 0.7% that had experimented with drugs, and 5 and a few more points that about 5% that used it regularly. It's not as bad as some of the other polls have indicated.
Now, what type of educational program do we have here in the Richardson schools to teach about drug abuse and narcotics?
Well, we have of course, each teacher is concerned about the drugs and about this problem, and I think each teacher does a job of his own, but in addition to this, we have programs in our health and science departments to do this, plus the fact that we have many assemblies and speakers in the individual classes, and also for the entire student body to prevent this.
The police are aware of the problem, according to Police Chief J.W. Golden.
We in the police department are working real hard. We're putting forth a lot of effort. We're burning a lot of midnight oil, so to speak, trying to reach the sources of this issue. We feel that we will need the assistance of the community as a whole, just as we do in all other crime problems, because this is a community problem. It is not a police problem alone. It is a problem for the entire society and the citizens of this community.
It's a complicated problem, but all agree that a proper education is needed not only for the students, but for their parents. For far too often, the parents say, "This could never happen to me. My children know."